Hello, hello, beautiful friends. So my name is Danielle Moore. I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a life coach with the Louise Hay philosophy, Heal Your Life program. I have been in energy healing for 20 years, and I thought that I would hop on today and have my dear friend Yorel Dean, who is a certified personal trainer, as well as a health and wellness coach and affirmation enthusiast. And thought that it would be nice since we're 2 months into the year. I'm wondering how we're doing on our health and wellness goals. And I feel like we might need a little boost. So here's Yorel. She's my dear friend who I've known for so many years. And just going to add her as she hops on. I am so impressed with her resilience. Hello, good morning.
Oh,
How are
wow.
you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks. I was just saying that I'm so impressed with your resilience and your dedication to wellness and to
Oh,
your self-care.
oh, thank you.
And yeah, so this is why I wanted you to hop on to give us a little boost because I feel like, especially where we live, we are island girls. We're in the middle of winter, which
Yeah.
is so long for us. And sometimes we need a little boost. And exercise, taking good care of ourselves is definitely the natural way to
Yeah.
boost our mood, to feel better, and also to spend some time on ourselves. So, where do we begin?
Yeah. My number one suggestion is always to know your why. Like, if you don't have a reason why you're doing it,
Mm-hmm.
when things get hard, it's going to be super easy to fall off. And I don't even mean like a superficial reason. Like, yes, most goals are like, I want to lose weight. And that's a good goal.
Mm-hmm.
But why do you want to lose weight?
Mm-hmm.
What difference
Mm-hmm.
is that goal actually going to make for your life? And so it can be things like confidence. It can be that you want to improve your
Mm-hmm.
fertility. It can be that you want to be able to play with your grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you want
Right,
to start this journey
right.
in the first place?
Good, good. Okay, so once we've established the why, what next?
Definitely set SMART goals. And by SMART, I mean specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And so, for example, one of my goals this year actually is that I will run a half marathon by summer.
Good for you.
And that's better than just saying, oh, I'm going to run more this year,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
It's specific. We know what distance I'm aiming for. It has
Mhm.
a time attached. It's summer, so I've already started looking at races close
Mhm.
by. It's
Mhm.
attainable. I didn't just wake up this morning and say, well, I haven't run in 5 years, but I want to run a half
Mhm.
marathon next week,
Right.
right? I gave myself 6 months to actually train and prepare for it. And
Okay.
it's measurable, of course,
Okay.
because there's actual distance attached. And so
Okay.
you want to make sure that you know what your actual goals are and they're not just like vague goals.
Okay. So something that's clear and realistic.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So perhaps you could give me just some simple steps on I've set my goal
Okay.
that, okay, for example, you set your goal to run your half marathon, you know your why. So what are some simple things just to get going, just to even get out of bed?
Yeah.
Because you think of it, I mean, I think of it like, oh, I would love to go work out, but there are some days where it's like, I might be wearing the workout clothes, but it just doesn't happen. So
Yeah,
how do you
that's fair.
prioritize?
Definitely start where you are. I am a big like planner and like organizer person.
Hmm.
And so I have a set routine. For me, for example, it's much easier to work out in the morning because if I wait until the end of the day, I'm gonna
Hmm.
have an excuse. It's just
Right.
not happening, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so like do what works for you and start where you are. For
Okay.
you, that might be, oh, I'm just setting a simple goal of going outside and walking twice a week.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you like swimming, maybe you're like, oh, well, I want to start by swimming 2 to 3 times a week. If you have a lot of young kids and it's just hard to get out of the house, maybe your goal is to just allow yourself to move your body for 30 minutes at home. Like start where you are. I think sometimes we
Mhm.
think it has to be this big fancy goal and it has to be perfect right
Right,
away.
right.
Realistically, that's just not how it works.
Okay.
So start where you are, take it every single day by each day. Wake up and it's like it's a new day. This is what I'm gonna do. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about next month. What are you gonna do today to help you get closer to your
I
goals?
like that. So just one day at a time. And
Exactly.
Rodney from Canada is saying hi. He says, you look great, girl.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you do look amazing. And I love that you're always smiling. And I feel like because you're so consistent and because you know that you're able to set and attain your goals, that really helps boost
Oh,
your countenance.
for
I love that.
sure.
Yeah.
And affirmations definitely help. Like
Yes.
before I hopped on this, I reminded myself that I can do hard things. I'm eloquent in speech. Like I can
Absolutely.
exactly like I can be confident. And sometimes you have to remind yourself that you really can do hard things, that
Yes.
your efforts are enough, that you're worth it,
Hmm.
that you love yourself enough to be better. Like loving yourself does not mean you can't desire growth or you can't desire
Hmm.
change. But
Hmm.
I feel like it's the opposite, right? When you love
Yeah,
yourself, you want growth, you want change for yourself.
absolutely. Mindset is really a powerful part of this. And
Exactly.
we've worked on that together for many
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
Uh,
you definitely played a huge role in where I am, like mentally and in terms of
yes,
affirmation. And it
thank-
really like sets a difference. I believe there's a ripple effect, right? Like a lot of
absolutely.
times we have physical goals and we don't recognize how much our
Mhm.
mental affects whether or not we're able to achieve those
Yes.
physical goals and vice versa.
Yes, and you have also overcome a lot of physical obstacles as a, competitive former competitive swimmer,
Yeah,
having surgeries and but you've been able to adapt.
yeah,
So how do you stay motivated on days where, for example, you might have a goal to lift a certain amount of weight or do pull-ups or push-ups or whatever, but yet your
yeah.
body isn't quite responding the way you would like?
That's a good question. And I think it's like twofold. I think discipline is part of it, but I also think grace is part of it, right?
Mhm.
And so,
I
for
love
example, like you mentioned before, it's winter here, so I can't run outside yet, and I do not love the treadmill.
mhm.
But some days I have to remind myself that summer half marathon runners are made in the winter. And so
True.
if I have that
True.
goal, I can't wait until it's warm, maybe by May here,
Right.
to start running outside. I have to start now. And so sometimes it
Mhm.
takes that like tough love or that discipline that, okay, today I just have to get up and do
Mhm.
it because I have that goal. And sometimes it takes grace, right? Sometimes it's recognizing that, okay, what is my body telling me
Mhm.
today? Maybe
Mhm.
today I'm just not doing well for some other reason. Like maybe I'm sick. If you're a female, maybe you're in a cycle. Like maybe there's something else
Mhm.
happening in your
Mhm.
life that
Mhm.
needs a bit more attention as
Right.
opposed to that physical goal. And so I am a strong advocate in talking to yourself. Like take a minute to check in. Like
Right.
what am I
I love
actually
it.
feeling
Mhm.
and what do I need today? Do I need discipline? Do I need tough love? Or do I need some grace? And sometimes that means having accountability partners, right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
a few weeks ago, I was not doing very well on a run, and I text one of my friends and I'm like, this just does not feel great on my body right now. And
Mhm.
she has this same goal. And so it was very, like, I knew she would understand where I was coming from, and we were able to
Yes.
talk through what I needed that day at that time.
Good. I really like that. So, well, I think I'm going to have to start being accountable to you so that you get me up
Yeah,
and going. And I love that the mindset and motivation, you really go together. And we also have to be careful about the way that we speak to ourselves.
for sure.
If we perhaps haven't met that goal for the day, to still be okay with that and but also not make excuses.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, it's that balance, right?
Yes.
Finding out what do you need that day. Like let's say
Yes.
you're planning on running 5 miles and you only made it two.
Hmm.
Okay, like is it why did you only make it two? Was it just because you were like, ah, I'm not on this and I'm tired?
Correct.
And then,
Correct.
okay, maybe you need some tough love in that moment.
Yes.
But was it that your body needed some extra rest?
Mhm.
Maybe your kids were sick all week and so you barely got sleep, but you're
Right.
expecting yourself to meet this standard as if you're functioning at 100% when you're not.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
really just evaluating the situation and taking time. And sometimes that's why accountability partners are important, right?
Yes.
Because you might be like always hard on yourself. And so, you might need someone to remind you. Actually, maybe you need grace in this situation. You've been
Yes.
sick all week. Or
Yes.
maybe you always like a lenient with yourself and you need
Mm-hmm.
someone to say, actually, no, get up and go do it because you have
Yes,
this
yes, get
goal
in gear. Yes, because we quite often will make the excuses and go, and our mind naturally goes towards what's comfortable and what's
for sure.
easy. And so sometimes if we just push just that little
Yeah.
extra oomph, then we
I
can.
always say, like, give it 5 minutes, right? If you're
Hmm.
not feeling like doing something, if you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today, tell yourself that you're just going for 5 minutes. Usually, within those 5 minutes while you're warming up, while you're getting ready, you're like, oh, actually, I can do it, right? My
Absolutely.
baseline right now for the half marathon is that I know for sure I can run a mile. And so even if I don't feel great, I go on a
Hmm.
run a mile. And usually by that time, I'm like, okay, I feel great now. I can
Yeah,
keep going. Right. And so
yes,
give yourself whatever your goals are, give yourself 5 minutes to work on that goal and then reevaluate because maybe the hardest part is just getting started.
yes, yes. I love that. Okay, so um, what about people who are okay, I've set this goal, so what do you do after your half marathon? You've trained and you're like, okay, I'm good now. I think we need to understand that it is not just a one and done type
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah, for sure. I think like your goals and your wellness journey
Hmm.
is a lifetime journey,
Hmm.
right? So the half marathon for me is just like this subcategory of my overall wellness goal, right?
Hmm.
Last year, my goal was to run a 10K. I did that. I did my first 10K. So this year, um, my goal was to up that and to do a half marathon. Now, I'm not too sure that I'm gonna up that next year and be like, oh, I'm gonna run a
Yes,
marathon.
yes,
Like
absolutely.
sometimes there's not always progression. Like a
Hmm.
half marathon might be enough for
Yes.
me, but my like overall goal is to be active, right? I want to be able to do things with my kids. Like if they want to go running, I want to be able to
Mhm.
enjoy that with them. I want to be able, when my friends say, let's go on a hike, have the endurance to go on a hike. I like outdoors, I like
Yes,
exploring.
yes.
And so, like, my overall goal is going to continue, even if my like running career
Hmm. Hmm.
ends with this half marathon. I'm still going to find ways to be active. And so I think it's important to remember that this journey is not like a one-stop
Hmm.
deal,
Hmm.
right? It's not just that, oh, I'm going to do this one thing, I'm going to hit this one goal, and it's the end. If we're talking wellness, we're usually talking lifestyle. And so,
Hmm.
what are you doing for the rest of your life? And it's going to change, it's
Right.
going to look different
Yes.
um, throughout your life at different stages. And that's okay once we're coming back to that initial why and that initial goal.
Hmm. I love, yes, I think that's so crucial. Well, so as we wrap up, what would
Yeah.
you say to someone who, okay, let's get going today.
Yeah, I would say
Let's
evaluate
start.
your goals for real
Mm-hmm.
and then decide if you should invest in yourself with like a program or coach, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think, first of all, we live in 2025, which is really great. We have access to such great information,
Yes.
but we also have access to a lot of misinformation.
I feel like it's information
Um,
overload.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And so it can get easy to like be overwhelmed. It can
Mm-hmm.
get easy to be like lost. And you have people that like, if we're talking fitness, that oh, you have to do hybrid training. You should only do cardio. You should only strength train. It's like
Right.
a
Right.
lot of
Yes.
information. And so working with a professional with whatever your goal is, whether that's physical or
Mm-hmm.
if you're like have mental goals, finding a therapist. If you're just looking for lifestyle goal, finding a life
Mm-hmm.
goal, a life coach, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
working with a professional takes away some of that guesswork, and it takes away some of the stresses of having to figure out everything by yourself, right?
Yes,
Where I don't
absolutely.
think if you're on a wellness journey, that an additional stress should be having to figure it out alone.
Mhm.
Like you should have someone with you. And so I would say if you want to start today, figure out what your goal is and maybe set like priorities. Maybe there's a
Mhm.
lot of things you want to work on. Pick one section, one factor that you want to focus
Mhm.
on and find someone that can help you get to that goal. And like I said before, there's always going to be a ripple effect, right? As you're
Yes.
working on that one goal, you're going to start recognizing, oh, wait, I'm working on my physical goal, but my mental feels better.
Right.
I'm going to the gym and I'm sleeping better. I'm working on my nutrition and I just like people a lot more now. Like it's always going
Yes.
to have a ripple effect on different aspects of your life.
Yes. And I'm all about body, mind, spirit. I feel like we should be working on all aspects of
Exactly.
ourselves and also just one day at a time, just little steps. And so I love how you just break it down very simply, where we make it realistic,
Yep.
figure out our why, make sure it's realistic, simple. Set your goals, and also I love that you mentioned the self-talk. We need to
Yep.
be our own cheerleaders and
Absolutely. I am my
realize,
own best friend.
oh,
Like, who's gonna love
absolutely,
me besides God? Who's gonna love me more than I love me? Like,
precisely, precisely. Well, you're so amazing. Thank you so much to friends, and when you watch this replay as well, um, reach out to us if you have any questions. URL offers coaching
yeah,
programs,
yeah, you
and
can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on URL Fit. I'll probably drop that in the comments afterwards.
yes.
You can also just look me up under my name, URL Dean, and we can get to work together.
Yes, and I've seen some of the amazing transformations that you've helped people
Oh,
see
yeah,
massive results.
yeah,
And
thank you.
yes, it's been really impressive. So thank you so much for sharing your light,
Absolutely. Thank you for
and
having me.
your time. And I'm sure you've already worked out
I
today. You've probably
actually have. Yeah.
gotten a run in. So
Yeah.
yes. Well, sending so much love to you, and let's get cracking, guys. Let's
Let's
get on
get
our
to work,
journey.
everyone.
Yes.
Thank
Summer
you.
bodies are made in the winter, so we need to get going.
Exactly.
Yes.